welcome to episode 74, the Madison Bowey edition. I don't really want to say it because he's gone now, and I don't know. That was the only 74 that I could find.
74 is not a good number, though.
Yeah, it's kind of a duster number. It really is.
It kind of is.
No one chooses that, right? I mean,
I think that's the number you get when you come into practice or like training camp.
I think he chose it because of John Carlson, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a bad number in any sport.
It really is.
Baseball, you can get away with 74. I feel like
you could a lineman in the NFL.
Baseball, yeah, but even a line. Yeah,
no, baseball you don't have
weird.
No, dude,
baseball have weird numbers.
No, fuck the people that have the weird numbers in baseball. That if you want to talk about that,
I'm talking
about out of the four major sports. That's the only one I could see. I mean, I know you can beat your lineman in 74. I'm saying that's a bad lineman number. Even for a lineman, that's bad. Like there's other fat guy numbers that are better than 74.
Right. I can agree there.
Dude, but those fat guys can run fast. Their 40 times are ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, how is this guy 300 pounds running a 4.4? Like what?
Yeah.
Like realistically, he's running a 4.8, and which is crazy.
Yeah. And they look like they're moving so slow because of they have huge bodies, right? They're long legs, but they're moving.
Yeah, it's good for those guys. Like the most underrated athletic guys in the entire world.
Dude, give them the ball and let them run. You know, like we did that at my middle school growing up. We called it the Chubby Buddy backfield, where we would have like some of the linemen like line up and this is only if we were up by like 3 touchdowns or whatever, and it was late in the game. We'd be like, all right, Chubby Buddy backfield, let's go. And we'd give one of the linemen the ball.
Touchdown Tyler goes out time. There and
hey,
Tyler's out there.
No, I was fullback.
That's what I played in middle school, actually.
Yep. I did all the blocking for the running back. The running back had the best season ever because of my blocks. Just saying. Nice. Anyway, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
I am good. I am ready. This is day 1 Stanley Cup Finals today because we're recording on Sunday, and it's tonight at 8, which is when it kicks off. So I'm excited to watch some Stanley Cup. And well, when do they bring the cup in the building? Is that game like an elimination game? Is it ever in there? Like for the
only during elimination games.
So it's not going to be there today. Like it'll be somewhere else. I'm sure we're going to get a nice video of the Stanley Cup while the guys moving around.
Of course.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
And how many times do you think that they're going to mention that? 2 stats. First Canadian team since 2011.
So Connor, real quick.
Fuck me.
Yeah, fuck you. The series starts on Monday, by the way. Not tonight.
But he's saying that this episode releases Monday, so he's saying tonight. Meaning,
yeah. Okay.
So
we're recording on a Sunday, so
So thanks for interrupting for that. But no, for real, how many times do you think that they're going to bring up the fact that this is the first time that that they're in the finals since '93 when they won it last, and the first Canadian team to be in since 2011? I feel like they're just going to keep riding that point home.
Yeah, that's going to be the first thing they say.
Yeah,
probably, and then between every intermission,
and they're going to bring up the fact that if Tampa wins, it's the first or the second team to win back-to-back Stanley Cups in the Cap era or something of that nature, or it's the 5th team, I think, to have back-to-back Stanley Cup final appearances.
I see what you're saying. Like not the 5th time that it's happened, but 5th team.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Because like Montreal had like 17 different back-to-backs and whatever.
I posted a stat. Let's see here. I posted that little snippet on the Instagram. It was salary cap era clubs to reach consecutive Stanley Cup finals: 07, 08, 08, 09 Red Wings and Penguins, 15, 16, 16, 17 Penguins, 19, 20, 20, 21 Lightning. So it only makes them the 3rd team. So I was mistaken.
Yeah. No, but I think you were saying that they have a chance to be the 2nd team in
cap era.
Cap era.
Win back-to-backs.
Yep. But this is their first time in franchise history taking a consecutive trip. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
But I mean,
is this still Yzerman's team, by the way, for the Lightning?
Pretty much. I mean, now last year I did I did a blog that said it was like 80% Yzerman's team or 70 something percent. I mean, with all the signings and stuff with like Jan Ruda and a few other guys, I'm sure that's depleted a little bit, but a good majority still is.
Okay.
But
For sake of argument, I guess not so much the actual team.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're talking
when you break down the
for Yzerman,
roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice,
good for him. Congrats to Yzerman.
So
yeah,
since the Lightning made it back to back, and last year was a shortened bubble season, and this year was a shortened season as well. Do you think that makes it any less of an achievement, or is it still just as much?
I think it's harder.
Harder. Connor,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's harder. I mean, there was a lot of hurdles that they had to go through, that every team had to go through. So I think whoever got out of this is probably. I bet you that all the teams would come back and say, yeah, this season was very hard in like mentally, physically. It's a lot of games you play in a short period of time. It was different, not fans being there all the time. It was so. I think all in all, it probably was harder. So, but at the end of the day, it's going to count the same, and I think that it'll be. People won't think about it too much. Like right now, I'm already thinking about that. The season was pretty normal. Like it's Stanley Cup. It felt like a long season so far. The playoffs feel long. It's still a 7-game series that everybody had to win, and now it's the finals. So I don't look at it any different.
So I read an article on that about the Vegas Knights talking about their tandem goalie situation next year. And to your point, Connor, they're talking about, it's going to be more of a regular season, if you will. So they're not going to need that back-to-back tandem. So I'm kind of curious to see, what teams do moving into next year, because it's not going to be that same like game in, game out type series that they've been playing this year.
Yeah. And kind of adding to what we were saying about the, this season being a little bit short or whatever, I've seen a lot of things on social media saying that, if this was a normal season, Montreal wouldn't have even made it into the playoffs. But okay, here's the thing. This is not a normal season. Everyone knew that going into it. The top 4 teams of each division have the chance to play for the cup, and they wouldn't be where they are right now if they didn't deserve it. Plain and simple. They didn't get there straight up by luck.
No. Yeah, and what I'm saying too, that the other teams that they could have potentially taken Montreal's place, like, yeah, they had a chance to do something, but at the end of the day, Montreal was probably better set up for a Stanley Cup run than any of the other teams that could have potentially like snuck in. So nothing changed. Like everybody knew, like what you're saying, everybody knew the rules, and the top teams made it in, and the bottom teams, Montreal was they made it in, but like I said, I think given their back end and even Caulfield, I mean, he's been a huge difference maker as well, and other teams don't have that guy to come in, and they certainly don't have Price to be on the back end either. So they were kind of set up perfectly.
Yeah. So I mean, lucky for Tyler, he didn't pick the Habs this year for his ass tattoo team, because his ass would probably be getting shaved quite soon.
Price might have heard you last year, Tyler,
right?
And I think he spent his whole offseason just getting better, working on the craft.
So go ahead, Tyler. What do you got?
I was gonna say last year was a different story because they didn't have like this Toffoli, Caulfield, and Dino. Yeah, like these guys are really showing up. And I always give credit where credit is due. I gave Dino a lot of shit last year, saying like, oh yeah, you want to tell me that Tatar and Dino are going to be able to win these guys a cup? Get real. But I mean, the whole lineup has been playing well.
I think you're so on that series. One guy that's actually surprised me quite a bit is Corey Perry. I feel like honestly he's stepped out of that more agitator role into more of like a leadership. Like, to me personally, is a little bit more like in Dallas. I felt like he was a little more a shit starter here in like.
He's a perfect depth player.
Yeah, like he's serious. He's ready to fucking win a cup. He's not fucking around anymore. Like you can just tell, like every time that you see him in the game, he's just serious, like ready to play. I don't know, just a different player than I expected him to be. It's just nice to see a player like that, like you said, a good depth player.
Yeah.
You just want to break down that Vegas series? I mean, honestly, what's surprising to me is Mark Stone with 0 points in the series. I think that's what kind of hurt Vegas. I'm not saying
their whole forward crew.
Yeah, her first line.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Connor, go ahead.
No, I was just saying if you look at the points, I don't have the stat up. Maybe you do, but if you look at the goals, it was mostly defensemen, and there was a few goals scored by forwards in a certain stretch. And having a lot of forwards on your team that typically score goals, you're going to want that to continue, and that just didn't happen for Vegas. So if you don't have that, then that's a bummer.
Well, so I did see something that, what was it? Cole Caulfield in that series had 4 goals, and all of Vegas
games.
Yeah, all of Vegas's forwards had 5 goals.
Yeah,
all of Vegas's forwards.
So
it's just crazy.
Cole Caulfield had three goals, 1 assist in 5 games. I guess 6 games, correct. So
yeah, well, he did have it may have been 4 goals counting that game 6, because he did score then, right?
I think so. So I don't think I had the first game, so I could be mistaken on that stat to be correct. So what did you guys think of the Fleury Leonard? We talked about that, the mistake or the error that essentially it could happen to any goalie. I don't feel like it was like I think it's like a 1 in 1,000 or whatever you want to call it kind of situation.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Connor about it. I feel like after that, he was just being more aggressive, like playing outside the net. He just looked odd. And Connor was saying, trying to stay with his flow, but it just looked weird to me. And so I don't know if that accounted to why Leonard came and played that next game, or what the reasoning on that was.
I mean, I think it probably didn't account for that much. It probably just forced him to sit out the next game where, okay, so you're a coach and you're looking at your team, you're looking at different mistakes and things that people are doing well. You look at how much he's been playing, how much for a goalie. I mean, think about, for a forward, you have to be mentally there. You have to be prepared. You're doing everything. But like for a goalie, they're dialed in all day long. They wake up, they do the same routine. They get to the ring like 4 hours early. And this is just from my experience from playing with goalies and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't talk to anybody in the locker room. Completely dialed in. They're doing their own thing in the corner. You don't talk to them. They got their headphones on. So doing that day in and day out for like an extended period of time, especially being in the playoffs, that's a lot mentally. And I think you just give a guy a break. And that's probably what he was doing. I don't think the goal really had that much to do with it. It was more of, okay, now is a good time to probably switch it over and give him a rest, and we'll see how the boys do. And they provided.
Yeah. And to add on to that, I think that no matter who you put in net, it's kind of almost the same thing as what Connor was saying, but they just got outplayed by Montreal. They look tired. It almost looks like that game 7 from the first series was really catching up with them. And
no, I can agree. I feel like we talked about it, they just couldn't get it out of the neutral zone. Like literally, they just had troubles. The forecheck wasn't there. They just dump it, and they had no forecheck. The Habs would pick the puck up and just shoot back down the ice and then shoot at the net. It looked bad in the last couple games. A couple that the first 2 were decent, and then after that, it looks like they were just like a beat horse, if you will.
You saw a stretch of them doing every once in a while, maybe like 2 times a period or whatever. So it wasn't normal for Vegas. Is usually just rolling teams, right? They don't really, even when the other teams win or if Vegas only scores 1 goal or whatever, they usually have that offensive firepower in the neutral zone. They're cycling the puck. They're keeping it low.
Ryan Reeves just took that. Didn't help.
No, and it changes.
Right.
And that changes up the entire lineup too. Because now you have a guy that's supposed to be slotted in a certain spot. Then you have another guy filling it. It's a trickle down effect. So another guy on the 4th line has to now go up. Your 4th line loses that depth, and Montreal has that depth. And then you don't have any offense coming in from your bottom line. You really don't need it, but Vegas was used to that the whole time.
And I feel like Reeves is a huge forecheck presence, though. I mean,
he's down there like a team like Montreal.
Oh yeah,
I was just about to say that, Dustin. That's a really good point. I did not even think about that. Imagine how much different that would have been. Like just those games would have been if Montreal knew that a guy like Reeves was out there.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it would play a huge factor.
Yeah, they wouldn't do a lot of the things that.
Yeah,
they'd be scared.
Not saying that Vegas would have won the series. I'm just saying it would have been different.
I agree. Did you see the thing come out about Alec Martinez playing the whole series on a broken foot?
Yeah,
and leading the league in block shots in the playoffs by like 20 shots.
Yep, but yeah, so it's like it's interesting to see that and be curious why Reeves wasn't playing.
depending on what the injury was.
That's what I'm saying. So it had to have been something,
like head.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
conch or something. Like,
Here
you
we
know
go. Dustin is calling him a pussy.
Yep,
Colin
here it
Reeves
is.
a big pussy.
Didn't take long for the Vegas fans to show out.
Whoa. No, but we talked about Cole Caulfield. Again, I don't know why they didn't play him the whole entire playoffs. Was that like was that just like a sick joke? Just to be like, hey, fuck you, and then it got a little fire started in his ass. He's just been fucking buzzing, dude. That kid is buzzing.
Yeah, I don't understand why Bergevin. I've said it a couple times that I don't know why. I don't know what he was thinking, sitting him and Kotkaniemi. The young guys that have been dying for a chance like this, and they both have showed up.
Right. So on the Vegas series, I had somebody reach out. I had a question for us. So here's the question. I have to know what you guys think of the refs not calling some blatant penalties against Vegas. Do you think the refs being reprimanded in 2019 for the calls in the Shark series have caused the refs to be a little hesitant about making calls against Vegas? Do you think talk around them missing blatant calls is exaggerated? What do you think?
I don't think that it was from 2019. I'll just answer that part of the question. I don't think that they're hesitant to call it there. I just think it was bad missed calls, and then they get into the issue was this whole series is that the players didn't know how to play because they were so inconsistent. They would be doing certain things and they would get away with it. They'd do the exact same thing or less and then get a penalty, and you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing out there, which is horrible.
So I read an article that's interesting you say that. So the funny thing is you have regular season, right? And then you move to the playoffs where you get away with shit all the time. Like you can't fucking, in the regular season, you can't cross-check somebody in the back like you do in the playoffs. So the problem is, someone made a good point. It's like, so the skilled hockey players, right? They can play hockey during the regular season, but once you get to the playoffs, they're getting the fuck beat out of them that they normally wouldn't, because that'd be called a penalty, roughing, whatever. So it's one of those things like, do you think there should be a better definition and a better, if what get calls in the regular season gets called in the playoffs? It shouldn't be like a warrior mentality. I mean, granted, I get the grind, but some of the shit, like, it's like, come on, like that's a blatant penalty.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's always been known that in the playoffs, they let a little bit more go, right? That's just been a thing.
Is it a little or is it a little, right?
Well, so hold on. Yeah, I'm getting to that. So they really do let a lot more go as far as, the incidental plays and things like that. They tend to let that go, and maybe some roughings here and there. The main thing is that you either have to consistently call it or
consistently bad.
Well, one of the two. They set
just
the
be
tone.
Consistent.
Yeah,
right.
They set the tone for how the entire game is going to be played. Okay, so at the beginning, if they see a call and they call it right away, it lets the players on both benches know, all right, no bullshit. Like we have to tighten up here.
Yep.
And I mean, the same thing goes for that. That's how it is in the regular season too, though. You get, let's say a team gets 2 penalties in a row. The entire other team's bench, like I remember playing, it was that penalty would get blown, play would be dead. Our bench would be like, hey guys, next one's on us. Just make it a smart one.
Yeah.
Like, you're good. That's like common knowledge for the ref to be, they do make the calls based on like however many calls they have on the one team. They need to even it out. So you just want to make it a good penalty.
Well, we had that instance where that ref actually made he had that hot mic, right? Talking about talking about making a call. So to your point, Connor, that does happen. But I feel like to Jacob's question, I don't think, like, to your point, I don't think it had anything to do with the 2019 calls. I think that's just playoff hockey. But like, I don't think it's exaggerated either. They do miss a lot of calls in playoff hockey. Is it missed or let it slide? Whatever you want, whatever verbiage you want to use.
Well, the reason why it's so bad here, though, and I'll go back to it, is that you were seeing the same exact play happen multiple times and different calls being called. Either it was or not called.
Yes.
So that's why it's bad. If nothing got called on some of those like 50-50, or even if it's a penalty in the regular season, that's fine. But it only gets called out by media and by us if it does get called one of the times. Because if it does, then I mean that's when you notice it. If nobody gets called all the time, then what's a fan going to say? Like, oh,
Right.
that was cheap for us, but it's like you just had the same exact thing happen to you a minute ago, and it was completely fine. So it's bad. The things where it gets bad is if you're missing like the high sticks, like they have. The cross, Perry. I mean, that one was just like there's no. They should like have to go in front of the media and talk about why they missed that. There's that one's just a bad.
I mean,
no matter regular season.
Perry was only missing like part of a chunk of his nose, so.
Yeah,
if it's blatant like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is almost as many refs on the ice than there is for like they have 4 people on the ice, right? And then a guy up above. That's 5. You have an entire team.
So correct me if I'm wrong though, the linesman can't call a penalty.
They can't call a penalty, but they can talk to the head officials
and say, hey, I saw. Okay.
They can talk to them. Yeah. They just can't blow the whistle and call it.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So essentially though, this is like a weird instance. They would have to either skate next to the ref and say, hey, you just missed something. Right. Or how would that go down? Because doesn't the ref physically have to see that call? Just like,
No. So what would happen is they wouldn't be able to like stop a play. Right.
Okay.
But if there's a penalty that happened, or if there's something that happens and the play stopped, which a lot of the times it does. I think about the stops in front of the net where even the officials don't have their hands up. Like those are scrums.
Yes.
If there's a puck that goes over the glass, there's a stoppage in play or whatever, and something happens. Even some of the high sticks that they're getting called because of a high stick with the puck or something, that play stops. Now the 4 officials get together. Like we don't know what they're saying, but what happens is the linesman will come in and be like, yeah, he hit him in the face, had a great view of it. There's like absolutely no question about it. You got to make that call, and they can do it because they can't see everything.
Gotcha.
But they're allowed to take that into account.
Okay.
Just linesmen can't make the call.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I'm sure some of the fans and listeners probably were curious about that too.
Yeah, and they should be making the call. Yeah, that's the whole reason why you have like I said, you have 4 guys out there. You almost have the same amount as like one of the teams. So it's like there's 3 teams on the ice. It's you got both of the actual teams. Then you got 4 refs plus one up, at least one up above.
And you have Toronto, right? Watching
all. And Toronto, yeah. I mean, it's like pretty much 3 teams on the ice. So There's no excuse to miss any of the calls.
Yeah, I mean, if it's blatant stuff like that, I agree with Connor. Like, you definitely should have to answer in front of a board. Like, are you fit to do this position if that was right in front of your face and you did nothing about it? Right?
Well, I mean, think about every player. Like, I would imagine that. Well, I know for a fact players are making game losing mistakes. Fleury had one. There's other, there's defensive turnovers in the neutral zone that end up being a goal. There's been overtime goals and mistakes, and they have to go out in the media and say, hey, yep, I have to answer that, and that's the worst thing anybody wants to do, but a player has to go do it. And then there's a big, huge mistake from a ref that changes the game, and then they don't have to answer it at all. So
right,
it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hope that for the finals that there's going to be unbiased and good officiating. That's all we can hope for. So, but
as long as it's not a Canadian ref.
Right, exactly. Because that's going to be a little biased. But yeah, so we were going on a little bit long there, but we should talk a little bit about who we had on. We had Luke Morgan, another Maiden Michigan hockey player. He's from Brighton, Michigan, also played at U of M with some pretty notable players. Anything you guys wanted to say before we?
Yeah, it's our first U of M player.
It is.
And he said that all the Spartans suck, especially you, Scarcella. I don't know why he pointed you out, but no, I'm just joking. No, that's all I got. Kick it over?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
All right. Our next guest is a Brighton, Michigan native. Went to Lake Superior State for 1 year and then finished his college career as a Michigan Wolverine. Thank you very much for joining the Wing Sauce podcast, Luke Morgan. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Great.
Luke,
Great.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. You're coming back, right?
Yep. One more year, got that extra year. So
Nice.
Hell yeah.
You're going to graduate school? That's
Yep.
what I read.
Yep.
What's your what you're going to get your degree in?
Masters of Sport Management in the
Awesome.
Canadian department. Yep. So
Hell yeah. How long is that, like a 2-year program or?
it's a 1 year, but I mean, you got to take a lot of credits to make it into a 1 year. So we'll see. It's gonna be a 1 year. You know?
Balancing that and hockey, it might be a year and a half, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, either way, you still get an extra year of eligibility out of that, right?
Yep. So I'm using my last year. I already played 5 in college, and then because of COVID, we got 1 more. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
You're like
I think-
Van Wilder, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. But no, we definitely, so you're our first Wolverine that we've had on. We've had on what, guys, four Spartans on.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we've heard their side, and we definitely are looking forward to hearing your side of it as well. But I mean, they weren't even good last couple of years. I would assume that your main rivalry was more with Ohio State, right?
Yeah, Ohio State and Michigan State. I mean, Michigan State, it's always fun because they're so close to you, and I know most of the guys on Michigan State, or I grew up playing against them.
Yeah.
So it makes it really fun. But I mean, Ohio State's just pure hatred. So
It'll be like the first, like you've never played against any of those guys at Ohio State, and just because of the colors they're wearing, you just hate them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like Grant Gabriel off the ice. He's a pretty good guy. He's a Brighton guy. So, but I mean, most of them, you're head to head with them all the time. So
Yeah.
You guys are on the same team, so how does that feel?
Grant Gabriel and me.
Yeah,
Oh, I've known him forever. We're fine. Yeah, I love Grant.
that's good. Any chirping while you guys were playing any Made in Michigan?
Not really. No,
Oh.
I can't think of much. Not in the summer. Once we get back to the fall, it'll get pretty heavy.
He's
Death
dead.
trip,
He's dead to you. Yeah. Now going back to kind of where it all started, I know you grew up playing for a couple different AAA programs. You played Honey Baked. And then I saw on Elite Prospects that there was a year where, did you go to Brighton?
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yeah, I
you-
played for Brighton.
You did? Okay. Cause they just didn't register anything that season. I don't know. Was there an injury or anything?
No, I played the full year. I played.
No,
My brother was the captain, and that was my freshman year of high school.
Oh,
And yeah, we ended up winning it that year, which was pretty fun.
yeah.
DC, so I got to know all the high school programs around the state and stuff, play all them, which was awesome.
Oh,
We'll need to get that updated then. If you won and it's not registered online, that something's got to get fixed.
he actually broke the system.
That's what I'm saying. We can just put he had like 50 tucks, 90 assists.
Yeah.
Yeah, something crazy.
Right.
Yeah, hell of a year.
That's awesome though. So you was that your sophomore year at Brighton? What year was that?
Freshman, he said.
Freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn,
How was
that's
it
pretty
playing again?
sweet.
Yeah, so I mean, a little later, that probably was a good segue into juniors a little bit, because that's probably your first time playing with people that are not only maybe a year up, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but you're playing at freshman with kids that are 17, 18 years old, I'm assuming, playing on varsity. So it's probably a good, kind of transition there, I would imagine. How was that for your first time going against some of there's a big swing from being 14, 15 to 17, 18 as far as like how much you grow. Was that pretty easy when you're a freshman there, or was it tough?
I'd say, yeah, it helped a lot playing there in terms of learning how to play against some bigger guys, some guys when you're a little smaller that you think maybe I shouldn't go in the corner with them, but you kind of learn to think about the game differently, think about how to get around somebody differently. And I mean, we had a really good team. I got to play with my brother, and he was pretty good player himself. So, I wouldn't say it was a huge adjustment, but I definitely had to change the way I thought and a little bit about how I played against bigger guys.
So was Kurt on that team?
Kurt wasn't on that team, unfortunately. I would have loved to play with Kurt,
Okay.
though. Yeah.
I think he played for the Brighton prep team, Tyler.
Yeah. Brighton JV or prep, and then he went to, I believe, AAA, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. And then so you won a state championship, and then did you just decide to go to Caesars because you were like, well, I'm already on the top here for
Yeah, got
high
my
school?
ring and I'm out of here.
No, it was just like I mean, with AAA, I mean, there's a lot more visibility out there to go to juniors. I think it's getting a lot better with high school as high school keeps getting better and better every year. But I mean, it was just, I really wanted to play juniors. I really wanted to play college. And I thought that was the best route for me personally to get there. So I just went over to Caesars for 2 years, and that was a fun time.
So when you said that you wanted to play college, so there was no, I'm assuming at that point you had your eyes set on your sights set on the USHL. If you wanted to go the college route, and was there any talk of going to the Q, the O, the WHL, anything like that, playing in like major junior?
I talked to my dad a little about the OHL and stuff like that, but I mean, I've always really wanted to play college. I think I grew up going to the GLI. I grew up going to Michigan games, Michigan State games. I've seen, I like the Plymouth Whalers and everything when they were around, but
oh yeah,
I know I've always just loved the college game, and I wanted to go there. So,
did your dad go to Michigan or anything like that, or are you a first year or first time Michigan?
Year. Yeah, my dad went to Eastern. He was a wrestler there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when your first season at Caesars, I would imagine that's when you start looking into kind of junior programs and everything like that. What were you immediately looking into the USHL, or were there other leagues that you were thinking about too?
I'd say USHL was definitely top choice when I was there. Everyone wants to make it in that league because everyone pretty much gets a commitment out of that league to a college. But I wouldn't have minded if it didn't work out to go play in the BC or the NA. Both are good leagues, both have good players, and if you work hard and showcase your talent to the best of your ability, you can make it out of anywhere. I believe.
Yeah, for sure. And so, did you get drafted into the USHL?
Yeah, so I was drafted by Muskegon. I forget which round, and then I went to camp. I ended up getting cut or put on the 30-man or something. And then somehow Cedar Rapids worked out a deal with Muskegon. They said if I make it out of camp in Cedar Rapids, then they'd trade for my rights. So I got to be able to go down to Cedar Rapids camp, made it out of camp, and then they traded for my rights.
Damn.
Stayed there for a year. Yeah.
Yeah. And
how was it? How was it your first time going to a camp? I don't know. I guess I should take a step back. Was that your first junior camp? Because they're pretty wild with how they work, with how many people show up, the people you do know, the people you don't know. You see your name on a roster, you walk into the locker room the first time, pretty much not knowing anyone, and everybody kind of keeping their head down, other than the people that were on the team last year. And those guys are the ones talking, leading the locker room. But how was that your first time going to a camp, and how was that?
No, actually, it wasn't my first time. My first time was right after my freshman year of Brighton. I went to a camp, so I was real little.
Dang.
I was scared as anything, just walking in there. And then you got all the guys that played in the USHL last year, and they're all confident making plays. Then you're just trying not to kind of make.
They're looking like they're 35 years old already for a guy that's 15. You're like, oh my goodness, what am I doing out here?
Yeah, exactly. But I went to a couple camps throughout the years, got more comfortable, and then as I got better and better, I was able to make an impact in camp that year and make the team. So it just became a learning process, each one.
Did you have any?
Were you at all thinking that Iowa? Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
I don't know what was going on. I just kind of cut out. So were you at all thinking that because Iowa really isn't known for hockey. So were you kind of worried at all? Like, man, I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere. What was going through your head?
I mean, it's the USHL, it's a good league. So I wasn't really worried about the hockey aspect of it. I mean, leaving home's never easy, especially it was my senior year of high school. So, when you're leaving all your friends behind, that's kind of scary, but give it a couple weeks and you hang out with your team every day, all day. So it's not like you have no friends there either. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible, and I didn't mind the city at all.
Nice. Yeah,
hold up. I've been to Iowa, I think once. Is Mount Pleasant, is that in Iowa?
I have no idea.
I think so. Needless to say,
it's a big state.
Is it?
I don't know.
Like
there's a Mount Pleasant in every state, I bet.
Wait, you might be right. But needless to say, I wasn't too impressed with Iowa.
So leave it to Dustin. Yeah, but I mean, it is I think Tyler, you said it's the middle of nowhere, but there's a decent amount of hockey there in the USHL. That's there. I don't even know what is it like four. Well, I guess it's been a while since I looked at the league, and I feel like it's always changing with new teams coming in and out.
Sioux
But is there still
City.
how many teams are in Iowa? Is it only two? Well, the Cedar Rapids. Is it four?
Dubuque, Des Moines, and then is Sioux City in Iowa? I don't want to say that's north.
I think it's
north,
like
north.
It sounds like North
Yeah.
Dakota.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I'm sure. I know Fargo's North Dakota for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, none of us graduated with the geography degree, obviously, but we'll get there one day.
Yeah. No, we had a buddy who played for Cedar Rapids, and we were like, when he went and played there, we were curious as to what it was like. And he said it's a crazy hockey city. Like their stadium is nuts.
Yeah, it's electric. They have the cowbell going all the time. They had this intro video with with the horse and everything, and like it was. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like the atmosphere, everyone loved hockey there. Like it was definitely like a pro experience, but you're just like kind of a kid playing there. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was about to say, how cool is that? Like you kind of have a little bit of an idea of what it would be like to play pro, and you got a little taste of that. Well, I guess for Iowa, that is their pro.
That's what I was gonna say. They don't have a AHL or NHL team, so they gotta pump those kids up because that's like.
Well,
their
they have
professional hockey.
Iowa Wild, but I don't know where that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that is, but it was like a pro experience. I'll tell you that. Like I'd go to school and like I had a teacher ask me how much I was getting paid, and it was like, we can't get paid. You know, we're amateur athletes. So
You'd be like, it'd be a lot cooler if we did.
Yeah. Everyone thought you were like a pro athlete, but really it's just, the juniors experience, I guess.
So this will be kind of like a common thing where we're going to be bringing up some of your teammates. But you played with Tyler Irvine, who is now playing in the Made in Michigan Hockey League as well. He's from Livonia. He's another man from the Mitten. So what was it like playing with him?
Oh, it was awesome. He was on my line.
Nice.
It was me, him, and a kid named Zach Robbins, and we were like kind of like the shutdown line there. But we could still pack a punch with some offense. I remember a couple times that Tyler scored a couple nice goals and stuff. And I mean, it was awesome. He's a great teammate, just a great guy all around. And he has an incredible passion for hockey like me. So we got along really well. And I enjoyed playing with him. He got traded a little early in that year. But, the time being that I played with him, I'll never forget. He's a great guy.
Dang. And isn't that kind of, it must be a little bit strange. You mentioned how cool it was to be a part of, that junior experience, but then you also have the downsides of it too, where, you get close with somebody and then they get traded. So it's like, damn, well, there's pros and cons to it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely hard when somebody gets traded, especially someone that you're kind of close with. We were both Michigan guys, so
yeah.
And he played high school as well. So like we both were kind of in the same shoes there, but I mean, just getting to know those people, and then eventually somewhere down the road, everyone plays, you meet up with them somewhere else and you have that connection with them.
Yeah.
And that's just something really special throughout your career. Like you just meet up with different guys and then you end up being friends with them for life, even if you're not really connected all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I want to switch over a little bit. So talk about the recruiting process there. How was that? How did it start? Like, did it start in USHL? Did it start back when you were even younger? Did you talk to any schools there? And then, because I wanted to get into if you went into any visits or anything like that, because those are always fun and a good time. But everybody, I feel like, has their own recruiting story and how it kind of got kicked off. But I wanted to hear yours.
Yeah. So you mean for like Lake State?
Yeah.
So I was a junior in high school, and then I was just finishing up U18s with Caesars. And then I've known Coach Damon Witten for a long time, coach at Lake State. He's a Brighton guy. He helped out at Brighton camps all the time and stuff growing up. And then, I kind of went up there on a unofficial visit or whatever, and I just checked out campus and saw everything. And I said, you know what, like I'm here for hockey. So that's where I committed for that year. And then I ended up transferring. But I mean, it was a really cool place up in the Sioux. It's a different animal up there than down here. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
is that right, Connor?
I was gonna say I lived up there. I played for the Sioux Eagles up there.
Oh yeah.
And one of the So it's different up there in Sault Ste. Marie, and we were a little bit different than you because we were traveling to Canada to play. All the Canadian teams were crossing over the border every time, but Sault Ste. Marie, it's really up there. It is freezing, but I do like Lake State's rink. They got some good fans there. Everybody's a diehard, and it's a cool area. It looks like you're just living back in I don't even know, early 1900s. I feel like every house is old and all the people look like they haven't changed.
Sioux Eagles?
In 2011 to 12.
Oh, a little before me, because I used to go to the Sioux Eagles games all the time. So I had a couple of buddies on the team that were all in high school with, and they were playing on the Eagles when I was at Lake State. So I go to their games all the time.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You go to that? So are they still playing in that old barn, like the old?
When I was there, yeah.
That like people talk about like a barn. I've never been in a barn that looked more like a barn than the rink I played at. I'm telling you, man. There's it's all the way around, but there's only like 6 steps all the way around. And when playoffs, it is the loudest place I've ever played at. It's an absolute shithole, but I love it.
Wouldn't want to see a concert there, but you definitely would need to see a playoff game, right?
It gets rocking, and fans after a few beers they get rocking too.
Oh yeah. Imagine going to one of those games as a local. Some of the shit that you'd see.
See, it always cracks me up. You can drink at a fucking kids game.
Oh yeah.
Just people getting hammered watching kids play hockey.
They just buy beer and pour it on you. That was my junior experience.
So enjoyable.
Yeah, awesome.
Now you also you had an awesome season when you played at Lake State. It was 22 points in 36 games. And so I was just kind of curious why the change to U of M. I mean, that might sound obvious to some other people because U of M is U of M, right? But I just kind of wanted to hear it from your perspective.
No, there was just certain things that I didn't like at the time and stuff like that, and I just figured I might fit somewhere else a little better. So I kind of packed up my stuff, and I was gonna go back to juniors and everything. And then once I was released and everything to talk to schools, then Michigan came around, the ability to go there, and I jumped on that in a heartbeat. Being
why not?
So close, yeah. So I mean, it was just wasn't the right fit after the first year. I kind of figured, so kind of just took off from there.
And
it was probably the point when you had to like plug your car in overnight because it's negative 400 degrees. That was the time where I was packing my shit. I'm like, I'm out of here. I don't care where I'm going. Not living up here anymore.
Yeah. I was about to say maybe it was like in May when it's still like 3 feet of snow up there. You're like, all right, I'm out.
No. I enjoyed my experience up there a lot, actually. I got to go hunting after practice all the time. Like I went duck hunting all the time right after practice. That was fun.
Rifle hunt up there
on campus.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can check in your guns on campus and then you check them out when you go.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No way.
Couldn't do that at U of M?
No, I can't do that at U of M, unfortunately. But I used to go duck hunting. There's a lot of outdoor stuff. If you're into the outdoors, it was a fun time. So I enjoyed my experience, learned from it, and then kind of moved on somewhere in a different direction.
Yeah, I imagine there's some like really good fishing over there too.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big fisherman. I'm more of a hunter, but
really,
a bunch
Same,
of guys
Luke.
fishing. Yeah.
Same. I'm not much of a fisherman either.
Well, so your first season at U of M, you played with Quinn, Hughes, and Josh Norris, right?
Yeah. Well, they were on the team, and then I had a red shirt the first.
Oh, so you were a redshirted, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So did you know that they were going to be huge, like that they were going to make it into the NHL, like they were going to be first liners
in practice?
Yeah, when you start practicing with them, then you kind of know. Like I didn't really know who they were when they were coming in originally. But then like you start practicing with the guys, you go, they're pretty good. And then you go, they're really good. And then you go, that's the best guy on the ice right there. That's Quinn Hughes.
Every game, he's the best person.
Oh yeah. I mean, they did some stuff out there that you're like, holy, like I don't know how they do so. Quinny was a god in college. I mean, his edge work, everything, the way he sees the game was just different.
He only played 2 seasons for U of M, right? And then went straight to Vancouver.
Yep. Yeah. So.
Man. Must be nice, huh?
When you're that good.
Yeah. I remember we watched the first game and he was lights out good in the NHL. Just no, didn't even need to catch up with the speed or anything. He just fit right in right away.
He's like, finally, people caught up to me. He was a little slow in college for a while. He's probably like, oh, this is great.
Well, the funny thing is, when did they get? I think it was Vancouver got him at what, 7th overall?
Yeah.
7th overall, which is crazy that like when you look at him, you think, how could he slip to 7?
Oh yeah. Now you look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. But
who was the like, what draft pick was that? It was number 1 overall. I don't remember the year that
was
Dahlian.
Dahlian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then
wow.
I don't know who
steal
went.
at 7.
Oh, Capo Caco went 2nd overall, right?
No, that was with Hughes the year or two after. Yeah.
Damn, there's too many Hughes, man.
I know.
There's another one coming up this year.
Zadina was at 6. Before that, he was from the Detroit guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can't really remember who went 2nd. I remember Zadina was 6 because I'm a Detroit guy. I always look at the draft. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, so everybody knows Yost. Most people know it from a fan's perspective, but what was it like playing there? And that kind of the first time stepping on the ice.
That's a barn.
First without fans and then with fans. Like, I would imagine just stepping on the ice for practice, you're like, holy shit, I'm here. This is awesome. And then when fans start rolling in, you're like, holy shit, I'm here. This is awesome. So I want to hear it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, Yost is pretty intimidating because it's all silver around. So, like, I had never really played there as a kid. I went to a couple games or whatever, but then you step in for practice, everything's all bright and everything. And it's pretty intimidating, but then you just get used to it, you know, the atmosphere and everything like that. And I mean, it's just a beautiful arena. And then, you know, it's a completely different place when they pack it with fans. Like, it's night and day. It doesn't even feel like the same building. It's an incredible atmosphere, louder than you'll ever hear. I mean, it's hard not to give it everything you got every game when it's that loud in there and there's that much energy in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like, so I haven't been to that many games. The few games I've gone to there is every time's an awesome experience. But I'm trying to remember, that's almost like a museum on the outside, right? They just have like pictures and little things that you can read all like
it
all
doesn't
the way
look like a hockey
Yeah,
arena
the
from the
concourse,
outside.
right when you walk
right
in.
on that. Sorry, the concourse, right? Yeah. So that was awesome. I feel like in the intermissions, you can go out there and people are walking around and looking at these pictures back from the 1800s and reading about these random guys, and then you go and watch, you guys play. I mean, it's a sweet setup. For anybody that hasn't seen a game there, it's definitely worth just making a trip over to Ann Arbor real quick for a game, because that's a place you don't forget too often.
Yeah, I would say it's almost like, even though I grew up a Michigan State fan, don't hold anything against me here. But I didn't go there, right? I went to Western, so I don't have a dog in that
I went there.
But yeah. But I went to a game at the Big House, and it wasn't even Michigan versus MSU. It was like versus Utah or something. And if you haven't seen a game at the Big House, you definitely need to see a game at the Big House. And if you haven't seen a game at Yost, you need to see a game at Yost. They're both just insane.
What's speaking of ranks, so you got to play in some pretty cool ones in college, obviously. And I don't know, obviously I haven't looked at your schedule or anything like that to backtrack, but what do you have any memorable rinks that you played at that you're like, holy shit, this is pretty sweet? And maybe it's probably a different feel than Yost, because Yost has the history there and it's just rocking all the time. But was there any other ones that you're like, this is pretty awesome? This is first time playing there and kind of remember it?
I'd say Yost is definitely on the top for me, but I mean, Madison Square Garden when we went to New York.
Oh, ever heard of it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nuts experience. We played Penn State there on like a Saturday, and that was crazy. We got to walk around New York. Like I went there when I was like really little kid, but they gave us like a day just to walk around the city. And I mean, it was awesome. And then like we stayed right next to Madison Square. We got to walk to the rink, and I mean, like it was packed too. Actually, I was like, wow. I mean, Madison Square that was a really cool place.
For a Frozen Four
room too. What's that?
Was that for a Frozen Four?
It was for it was like a Big Ten thing. I don't know what it was. It was like once a year they had like a basketball game, and then they had a hockey game there too. And we got to get dressed in the Rangers place, and that was awesome.
Oh man,
how was it? Was their locker room nice? Obviously, it's nice.
Awesome.
But like, was it? Yeah.
Did you step on their logo because you're a Wings fan?
Oh, absolutely not. I can't do that.
You couldn't afford that fine if you did.
No way.
Well, isn't MSG's kind of weird because isn't it like way below it's like 5 levels down or something, isn't it?
I can't really remember, but I do know we had to take an elevator to get there. I do remember that.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I like month.
Yeah, I think it's on like the 5th level. Tyler, I think you're right. It's something
Yeah.
crazy. I remember hearing it on Chicklets maybe, or we were watching some like something about rinks.
No,
I
Ken
can't remember.
Daniels, I think, was telling us.
Was that it?
Yeah, he was saying something about the MSG being so far down or whatever.
Yeah, now I'm
But-
curious.
Yeah, it's a really crazy setup. I don't know, but that's unbelievable you got to play there.
Yeah, there. And then I'd say LCAs. I mean, that was a nice place.
Honestly, LCA is pretty cool. Did you go into
Yeah.
the Red Wings locker room?
I went to development camp, so I got to see it, but I never like actually sat in there or anything like that. That was cool.
Just pick a stall and claim it.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome though. So did
Wait,
you
I
get
want one more on the
Yeah.
rinks and location. So there's a lot of the big thing now for the past, I don't know what, 10 years or so, there's been more and more outdoor games. Did you get to play in an outdoor game at all?
Oh yeah, I guess I forgot about. We played in Notre Dame outside. Yeah, with the
Oh, you're at Notre Dame. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I forgot about that one.
the
That was a
Golden
cool one, too.
Domers?
I forgot about that one. Not a big deal. Whatever.
Yeah, that one.
Well,
that
you
was
played
awesome.
MSG, but
Yeah, they only had the one side filled, like one-sided, which was that was kind of weird. But I mean, it was packed, and when the lights came on, it was like playing pond hockey. So it was like
Oh,
a
yeah.
really cool experience. The one thing I do wish I got to do would be like the big chill at the big house. That's
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing I'd really love to do, but I don't know if that'll happen this year. It's my last ride, so
Oh man.
Fingers
well, you
crossed.
got to bring it up. You got to
Yeah.
bring it up and say, "Hey, it's my last year. You got to do something for me here."
Give me a bone. Come on now.
So where was that Notre Dame game?
it was in their football stadium. Yeah.
Okay.
And they set up a rink right in the middle of the stadium, but the fans were all like way off in the stands. So it was kind of a weird
Yeah.
thing. It was still loud. I mean, it was still really loud and everything, but
was it that like distant roar where like it's almost delayed where something
Yeah.
happens and then you
Yeah.
hear that?
yeah. But I mean, it was really cool. They set up the rink really nice. And I mean, we got some really cool gear for that game. We got the white pants, the white gloves.
Those were
I don't
nasty.
know
I
how you
remember
All
like
seeing
that
that.
whites,
look,
yeah.
but, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't want it all the time. Just you got the classics with Michigan. Obviously, everything's classic there. But every once in a while, if you're playing an outdoor game or something, yeah, you can rock something crazy like an all white uni. That's unreal. I remember seeing those, and that's awesome. Did Notre Dame have anything different for theirs, or were they just staying classic?
They had like I'm pretty sure because we were in white. I think they had old time blue was
Oh,
their
okay.
thing, and then the goalie, I forget what his name was, but he had the cap on to start the game,
Nice.
and then he ended up taking it off. But it was a cool little thing that he had the cap on, sewed onto his helmet or whatever.
Nice.
that's
How was the ice in those? Because you never know on TV, and the announcers will say like, yeah, the ice is bad, but I don't obviously remember the weather there and if it was cold, warm, or whatever. Was it okay? Because I know we've had some issues in the NHL recently of some pretty bad ice. In the
Yeah,
outdoor games.
I thought it was really good ice. I mean, I'm not that picky about it as long as the puck just doesn't stick somewhere. And, it might be a little bouncy, this or that, but I mean, the ice was great. They did a great job with it, and I mean, like, I had a lot of fun playing in it. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
go.
it reminds me of when I was a kid. My neighbor used to have an outdoor rink, and we used to play outside all the time, like under the lights and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Nothing like feeling like the wind in your hair as you're skating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My parents would have to tell me, like, remind me I got to do homework and shit. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm just going to stay out here for another couple hours. But so did you get a chance to play in Notre Dame's, like, their new arena?
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's a couple years old now, but is that like unbelievable or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really nice. I mean, it's all like I want to say like marble and stuff like that around there, the
Really?
concourse and everything. I don't know what it is, but it's super nice. Like the
That's
way
such a Notre Dame thing. Right?
Yeah, it's very,
You know?
very almost like prep.
Surprised it wasn't gold. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a very nice arena. I wouldn't say they have the energy Yost does, but I mean, it looks very nice, and the ice is good there. I enjoy playing there. We had the bubble this year in Notre Dame for the Big Ten tournament. So
okay. Now, this will be your chance to throw some shade back at some MSU guys, because I've heard that the atmosphere at Munn is dead. So talk to me about it.
I mean, I've seen games there where they don't play Michigan, and it has been dead. I will admit that. I would say when we come to town, though, they do a good job of bringing a lot of fans and a lot of energy into the rink. It's fun to play there when it's Michigan State.
Yeah.
I can't really speak about like if I was on a different team and I was playing Michigan State, but I know whenever we play each other, it's just a brawl, and the fans love it. They'll pack the house. So I can't give them a low blow there, but I mean, I will say like Yost does have better energy when we go head to head though.
Okay. Where can you go low on Michigan State? I want to cause a rift between you and Milan and
the win column.
Marcella and
Can get
the
pretty
win
low
column.
there.
Yeah.
The win column.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's about it, you know.
That's the ultimate one, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. We just got to win it this year, you know. The only one that matters is the next one. So
yeah,
right.
Exactly. Now, this past year you played with two guys that are most likely going to be in the top 5, Matt Beniers and Owen Power. So those guys are both freshmen, right?
Luke,
yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong. You're on a line with Beniers, correct?
Yeah, and Kent Johnson was on the left.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going top 10 at what it looks like. I mean, just based on what I've read. So
just a loaded team.
Yeah, we were stacked. So.
How come you weren't getting any looks? You're feeding all these guys.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, you know.
What the hell?
Top 20.
Yeah. Little old to be drafted, but I mean, no, those guys are just super talented, just above, you know, a normal player in terms of way they view the game and the way they see just open opportunities. Just so creative. It's almost different how much younger they are from me, like what they learned growing up compared to what I learned and stuff, and the skill difference too. And I mean, they're going to be great players in the next level.
Now, if you had to compare, like, you know, all these draft comparisons, they drive me nuts. I mean, no one really knows the actual comparisons, but the people who played with them. So for someone like, you know, Matt Beniers, who you played with on a line, who would you compare him to in the NHL if you can?
I mean, that's tough. I mean, he's so unique in his ability, and he's got a two-way game, great skater, and he just never stops working.
We're holding you to this, by the way.
What's that?
We're holding you to this.
We're going to sound clip this.
You're going to sound clip this? Jeez. I mean, just his skating and the way he makes things happen. Like, and like this guy's really good in the NHL. I'd say somebody like a Matthew Barzal.
That's exactly what. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Just their skating, their ability to find ice and make time and space for themselves on their own is incredible.
Yeah, we were looking for McDavid, but I guess that'll do. No, that's and then for someone like Owen Power, I mean, who would you even compare him to?
I mean, everyone's saying Hedman.
Okay.
I mean, just because of the size alone.
Yeah. Guy's a moose.
Yeah, I just know he plays like a very mistake-free game, but he's not worried about making mistakes. Some guys get super worried about making a mistake and then they don't make a play. But he makes a play every time, you know, and it always seems to be the right play that he makes, you know, whether it be the shot or he'll pass up the shot and get it deep. And he's very mobile for how big he is. I think he's 6'6". And he can move. So, you know,
that sounds a lot like Hedman, though, not even just the size, but Hedman's obviously, he's a great skater, and you see him take the puck up sometimes too from behind the net, standing there and make a move. He's last man back, so he's not afraid. Obviously, one of the best defensemen in the league. So I can see how that would be a good comparison there, other than just being the biggest person on the ice pretty much at all times.
And that 6'6", that's off skates, right?
Yeah. So
Oh,
he's even
that's
bigger.
a monster.
I'm pretty sure he measured at 6'5" or 6'6". I want to say
Jeez.
6'6".
Is he a physical guy with that size?
Yeah, he's physical. I wouldn't say he goes out of his way to go blow people up. But I mean,
Okay.
like, if he goes in the corner with somebody, you're gonna feel him hit you, and he's gonna take the puck from you. You know, he's got a great
Yeah.
he's got a great ability to separate the man from the puck, and he's big enough to do it too. So he's an exciting player to watch. He'll be a hell of a player at the next level.
So he was like your Chara in that sense.
Yeah, in college, because I don't think there's many bigger than him.
That's unbelievable, man. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this year there's a lot of uncertainty with where players are going, but I feel like those two have always been slotted at least in the top 5. So that's really exciting, and hopefully that does happen. And even if it doesn't, I hope the Wings can scoop one of them up if they slip.
Oh, that would be awesome. You know?
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah, that'd
Be
be wonderful.
unbelievable.
So, Luke, I'm looking at your team, and there's a lot of other NHL drafted players on that team. So, like you're saying, you did have a pretty stacked team last year.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of them come back next year, and we can make another run at it. And, you know, our season got cut a little short last year, but you know, hopefully a lot of them come back, and we can make it happen.
How many seniors do you have that are leaving? Do you know?
Like from my class?
Yeah.
So we got 2 leaving, and then me and Mike Pastroff are the ones staying, and then Quinn and Norris from our class obviously signed 2 years ago. So they've been gone a while, but we still keep in touch with those guys. They're fun.
That's awesome. Do you guys have like alumni skates where they come in and skate with you guys, or not? Not really.
They used to have like a Michigan alumni pro camp before. I don't know how it works with COVID now, but we used to be able to get a bunch of alumni out, and we could watch them skate at Yost, and that was a really cool experience.
Man.
You watch Larkin, Kyle Connor, all those guys come back, and you watch the drills they do, and just how dialed in they are at everything they do. You know, every shot's got to be a rocket. You know, they never take a shot off, and being able to see that in person is pretty crazy.
That's unreal. And so who was your coach for say again?
Mel Pearson. You mean for this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mel Pearson's the coach.
Okay. So Red Berenson coached for like 80 years there. Did you ever meet him? He's a huge part of the program. So
oh yeah, I met him. I played against him when I was at Lake State. Actually, we played in Michigan, which was pretty funny. Nice. And then I ended up coming to Michigan. But yeah, he's still around the rink a little bit. You know, he comes around, hangs out. He talks to the players all the time. He's a legend. You know, he's a legend. That's the only way you can describe that guy.
He was there when Yost was built.
He built it himself.
He built Yost himself.
No, I was gonna say. So does he live in Ann Arbor still? Like he didn't move out?
Yeah, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure he's still in Ann Arbor area. I don't know. I don't think he's right downtown or anything.
He's still on the payroll.
Yeah, he probably has a few places around.
He's the Zam driver.
Picks up the pucks. No, do you get to go to any of the development games at all? Or I guess do you? I mean, I'm sure you could if you wanted to, but with the national team, given like them being in Ann Arbor as well, and some of the younger guys coming up, and it feels like Ann Arbor, they always have a pretty good, or Michigan has a pretty good relationship with bringing guys in too, and you might have a chance to see some of the guys that are committed there. But have you ever taken a peek over there and gone to any of their games?
I mean, I've gone to their games, you know, and I've watched them. I wouldn't say I really like key in on who's good or who's not. I just go to the game. Like if they play like Cedar Rapids, the development team, I'll definitely go to the game and go watch the teams play, you know.
With a Rough Riders cap.
What's that?
With a Rough Riders cap on. Yeah,
exactly. I gotta wrap it. But no, yeah, they're fun to watch because they just play such a different style. They have so much talent at that age. But you know, you got to develop that talent. So they're really fun to watch, the USA guys.
Yeah, it's cool because you get to watch what they work on. Like when you go to the games and stuff, it's way different. I feel like their systems are different, and the coaches, it'd be so difficult to be a coach and even one of the player development coaches because the guys have been the best person on the ice at every single age group for their entire life probably. And they always got the next generational talent there coming in, and how do you develop that on and off ice? So it's always interesting watching them and what they're able to do.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's it's a crazy little program they have, the USA program. I mean, they just bring in all the top guys, and they end up all being superstars, So, I mean,
doing something right.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
What do you got, Tyler? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say they're in Plymouth now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
so
moved out.
they
Cube.
yeah, when they were in Ann Arbor, I kind of felt bad for the guys who played at Pioneer, like Ann Arbor Pioneer for hockey, because it's like, oh yeah, like in high school, your goal is to make varsity, wear the jacket around and everything. You're nothing when those development program guys are walking around just stealing all the chicks. It's like not even
When they
fair.
are at school.
When they are at school, yeah.
When they're not playing overseas or traveling to Iowa 17 times in the month. Play all 4 teams.
Yeah, it's just nuts though. I remember I can't remember exactly who was saying it, but they were like, yeah, it's a joke. Like no one pays attention to the Pioneer hockey players.
I know all the USA kids are super tight with each other. Once you're on that team together, they all talk to each other to this day, and it's been a couple years. Mikey knows all the USA guys.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that, Dustin. You can go ahead though.
So, Luke, I was just going to ask you, we're talking about the, summer or different programs. I was going to ask you about the Made in Michigan program and how it's playing with the different levels of talent within that program.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because you get some guys who are really at the top of their game, the AHL guys or the top college guys. And then you get some guys that are still in AAA and you have to learn how to play with those different levels. You got to be able to play off guys really well, which sometimes can be a little harder when some guys can't keep up or sometimes guys can't keep up with other guys. But I mean, it's definitely an experience, and I just enjoy how competitive it's been this year. I don't know if you guys have watched all the games, but I mean, like they've been fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, people are starting to notice a little bit. You
Yeah.
can't go into a game and you can't go in like you're playing beer league. It's
No.
fast-paced.
No, some of the games I've been to, Luke, have been like really exciting. Like the puck handling, the speed. I mean, I was telling Tyler and the boys, like it's just a different level compared to like what you'd expect with like a summer league. You'd almost expect like a lackadaisical hockey, but it's just nonstop skill-based hockey. It's nice to watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and everyone is like dripping sweat when we interview them at the end of the second, and I like forgot how bad hockey players smell, from it's just like it hits you immediately. But no, like Dustin and I were talking, it was crazy. Like the toe drags, just the skill is I can't compare it to anything else that I've seen for a summer league. So
you get to
it's
try.
unbelievable.
You get to try things in a game setting.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
it
for
not
sure.
being a game, and even more so, you can try things in practice, but there's not that many, I guess, drills in practice, and your team so well. So even if you do practice something, you are almost
It's tough
hesitant
to
to do it in a
surprise
game.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So like in this, playing against top guys you don't know extremely well, playing day in and day out, then you can try things that you would potentially do in a game, but maybe want to do it a few times here. So it's tough to find that in the summer for sure. Luckily you're in Michigan and you don't live in Florida or California or pretty much anywhere besides Minnesota, a few places in the East Coast of Michigan, but summer ice is tough to find.
Yeah, especially a competitive game. I mean,
yeah.
you can find ice, but I mean, you can't find, a bunch of players that are all at the top of their game and then trying to further it,
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be playing drop in with like a men's over 30 league.
Yeah.
Sticks and pucks.
Yeah.
And everyone's pretty good about, not, you're out there to get better and not really clean somebody's clock.
Yep.
So I appreciate that too. We're out there to make each other better and practice certain moves and stuff like that. And then just be ready for the season when it comes around.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, talk a little bit about the squad. Ontario is, I don't know. Were they a sleeper, boys? I
don't know, man. I mean,
I don't know who we had.
We got to turn it around. We're turning it around tonight. I'll tell you that.
Hey,
Tell
tell your boy Billy, don't big dog me and Tyler next time.
Billy?
Yeah, we're supposed to have a little interview.
Oh yeah, Billy's Mr. Billy Big League over here. Just
Yeah.
like he didn't come in an interview with us. Like, you know, like we're not paparazzi, man. We're just here to get an interview.
Give him a little cup check from Tyler.
Yeah, he had a nice goal the other day. He had a
Dude.
breakaway. It was really nice, actually.
The first
Wait,
game I
on
saw,
Sunday?
Yeah, on what was it? What day is it? Oh, Tuesday. We played Tuesday night. Yeah.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, I
I was
missed
about
that
to
game.
say maybe he was really going for it all because he thought that we were watching on Sunday, but
No. He's a good kid, though. I like that guy.
He
Oh,
is.
yeah.
He is a good kid.
So I heard he was like runner up for the Michigan Hockey Player of the Year or whatever.
Yeah, so he won
for
state.
Mr. Hockey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that. That's pretty sweet.
he won state last year, and I can't remember what college he said he was going to. I forgot. I'd have to ask him again, but yeah, good kid.
Well, we'd know all this stuff if he actually sat down to interview with us. So.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, Mr. Luke was nice enough to take time out of his day.
Yeah. So that's going to be his name from now on is Billy Big League. So
Billy Big League. I'll start up the trend.
I like it.
but who you guys Kiefer's your captain, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
Wow.
And he's been I feel like he's been the like in the 3 stars of the week every week.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a hell of a player. I've played with him since we were like 3. So I've known him.
Oh, wow.
Man. Yeah, we had our like kids team when we were really younger actually turned out to be really good. A lot of us, we're all in touch still. Like Colin Adams, if you remember that kid at North Dakota, he was on that team with me and Kiefer. Andrew Lane, who was at Anchorage. We had some good college players that played with us when we were like really little kids, and we've kept in touch all this time, all local kids. So
That's awesome.
Wow.
So is there any team you're worried about?
I think we can beat anybody. It's just whether or not we show up or not. You know, on
All right.
paper, we're a hell of a team. So
I like the confidence.
yeah.
Watch Lutz and Irvine though. They're coming. Every game
Yeah,
I've
I
seen,
mean,
they've
tonight,
been coming.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
hey, let's go Ontario.
Thank you. Finally,
Yeah.
finally some vote of confidence.
Yeah.
We'll
Well-
clip that. We'll put that out.
We're not going to send you our preseason rankings, but
What'd you
yeah.
have us?
Well, okay, you want me to go through all of them real quick?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I just put it away. Here we go. Okay. So, Randy had you guys at 4th. Connor had Ontario at dead last.
What?
To my I had a different
wait.
ranking system than everybody else.
Dustin had
No.
you guys at dead last.
Oh,
You guys had the least amount of North American Hockey League players, and I'm an NA guy. I think you guys only had 3 on your team. So I was like, well, the guys with more NA players are going to get my vote, and that's what happened. Compared to, and we had the other guys came on the podcast already, so I had to. I can be bought very easily. So you guys just climb the.
This isn't
you're not-
politics. It's hockey.
Connor's trying to be like, whoa, hold up. Don't
You
get mad.
need more all-stars on your team, and you climb up real quick. In my book, anyway.
That's why they're doing well. They don't have all stars. No, but so Connor and Dustin both had you guys pegged at last.
See, that's my excuse. Dustin doesn't have one. He just had you at last, no matter what.
I was just riding off Connor's coattail.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, spineless. So it was Randy and I both had you guys at 4th. And that was like literally
Hey, to be
had
fair,
no-
they are in 4th, which means they are qualified for the playoffs at this point in time.
so stay there.
All we need.
Stay
We just
there.
need to get in, and we'll be fine.
hey, I hear you. Are you
We're a
excited?
playoff team.
You excited for the little All-Star game?
I am. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. What do you know how that is working, or is that?
I know a little bit. Like I know probably about as much as you, to be honest. I know they're doing like a 3-on-3. I think. Yep, hardest shot, fastest skater. So I think you guys are probably just gonna show up and then just kind of do it like a normal All-Star game. I'm hoping, but I will be there, so I'm gonna try to interview pretty much everyone that's there. So don't be surprised if I come by and say, "Hey."
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
We
looking
probably won't
forward-
be able to get Billy again though.
Right,
Too busy.
Yeah.
boys.
But,
do you have anything else?
No, I was just gonna say
No,
thank you
thanks for
very
coming
much
on.
for joining us.
I do
yeah,
have one
thanks.
question. Are you a golfer?
I haven't golfed in years, but I'm trying to get back into it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll bring you some golf balls when I see you on Wednesday.
Sounds good. I'll get back into it.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you
All
so
right, good
much
luck.
once
Good
again.
luck tonight.
Thanks for having me on too. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya.
Luke, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, you guys didn't beat Huron like you promised us. So I'm going to go ahead and need you to do that at some point this season. Boys?
You sounded like Lumberg from
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to
I'm going to need you to come in on Saturday.
That'd be great.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, Luke was awesome. It was good to hear the other side of the MSU U of M battle. But yeah, it's also cool to hear about his first time playing at Yost and everything. I know Connor brought up those questions. Yeah, I enjoyed every bit of it.
And any scouts listening, he has been feeding all the pucks to all these players. So yeah. Go ahead and give him a look.
The reason why Maddie Beniers, Owen Power, and Kent Johnson are going to be drafted so high is strictly because of Luke. So figure it out, guys.
Yeah. Not sure why.
Stevie, you could sign him.
Hey, hometown hero.
Yep. Give him a discount.
Give him a discount. Okay. So let's talk about the Tampa Bay Islanders series that Tyler just told me how smart he was. But mind you, he didn't guess in 7. So only
I think I might have him in 7.
You did. But Dustin, can you remind me who you had winning the series? I can't remember.
Yes,
I think I had it maybe
hey,
written down
I'm not embarrassed to
somewhere.
say they almost took it, dude.
Oh yeah.
Almost. Hey. Red Wings almost made the playoffs too.
No, yeah. different. It wasn't 3-3. So no, but the Islanders surprised.
No, it was actually 4-3.
I know.
3-4 for you guys.
Right.
4-3 for us.
The Islanders surprised me though. I think they surprised a lot of people, to be honest. Even Tampa Bay. After that 8-0 win, I was kind of nervous, but they actually they came back and played a little bit better hockey. So that's all I got to say about that series.
Yeah, I didn't really put a lot of stock into that 8-0 win. I think that a loss is a loss. I mean, blowouts in the playoffs don't really mean a whole lot because it's all about, so you have to know as a team, if you're down 5 rip and things are, the bounces are not going your way, you pretty much chalk it up to, all right, we got to bounce back next game. Finish out this one. Yeah, exactly. And bounce back.
Was that the same? Was that the same series that they had the goalie interference where homeboy got cross-checked into the goal?
Yeah.
Or was that the series before that?
Oh, I don't remember, I guess, but I remember the play.
It's like Varlamov got cross-checked into.
Oh, I think that was the previous series.
Okay. Disregard my statement then.
Well, I could be wrong too.
I don't know.
Been wrong before. I just wasn't wrong about the Tampa Bay winning.
The over cap team, yeah.
Well, it's not illegal, so.
Oh, by the way, did you see that they touched the? I'm not sure what their trophy's called, but they touched the trophy.
Prince of Wales, I think.
Yeah, the Prince of Wales trophy for the second time. They touched it last year as well.
Yeah, because the Campbell Trophy's West Conference, I think.
Yeah. I was going to ask you if that plays into your picks for the finals.
So I'll tell you right now, I made my pick already via bet. You just want to go ahead and say who we picked? I didn't have a game amount. I'm picking the Habs, dude. Honestly,
in what? Need a game amount.
I know that's the problem. I'll tell you why I'm picking the Habs first. They've been surprising in every series they've played. They're playing shutdown hockey. They're quick. It's going to be a good series with Tampa, so I'm thinking it's going to go at least 6.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have Tampa in 6.
I got Tampa in 7.
Okay.
But and I can give you. I think it was good that they played the Islanders last, and they had a team that potentially could have surprised them. Was probably better than what Tampa originally thought, and it went a lot longer than they probably thought too. And I don't think that they're going to let that happen again. And it's the finals, and they're going to get up for it. Now on the Canadian side, that I get this matchup for them. It's why I feel comfortable in Tampa Bay. Let me just go back to Tampa Bay real quick. They're probably the only team that has a goalie playing as well as Price. So I think those are almost a wash. In the Canadians, with Price being on the back end, they've been able to play a specific style of play that they can just rely on their goalie. They can play a little bit more offensive than they probably have been all season, but they shut down the neutral zone, and then if they give up a 2-on-1, they can be fine with Price in the back end. I think that Tampa can do the exact same thing. And is it Vasilevsky? He can do the same. Anything that Price can do, he can do as well. I think that's watching. It's going to come down to the forwards and the defensemen. And I think Tampa has the better team, more depth, and you have more studs.
Yeah, and what Montreal does and why they've been so successful in their run is because they get a couple goals and they sit on that lead. They play really good, like you said, Dustin, good shutdown defensive hockey. I just don't see how they're going to get that leg up on Tampa early. That's the reason why I'm picking Tampa, because I don't see how they're going to be able to get that 1 or 2 goals to put them ahead and then play defense.
See, we're for a normal, real quick, Dustin, though, and just go back on that, Tyler, is that a normal team, for you to get up and sit, you need 2-3 goals. Montreal, Price is playing well enough for them to get 1, maybe 2 goals a little later on. They can feel comfortable with a 1-goal lead because of how well Price is playing.
Right.
But I also think that Tampa can do the exact same thing. This is the first time that the matchup is going to be in favor, even in the goalie. When you look at goalie,
it won't be high scoring.
No, it'd be funny if it does. Yeah, right.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead, Dustin. Sorry.
No, so I was just gonna say. So the first couple of games are in Tampa, following into Montreal. Do you think, with the limited fan base,
they should pack the stadium?
It's gonna be. I mean, they dealt with it in Vegas, but so Montreal, it's gonna be what, 3,000 fans?
I don't think
or 8,000.
I don't think it'll matter. No.
I feel so bad for Montreal fans. This is the first time that they've been in the final since '93 when they won it, 28 years ago.
Mask and vaccines, let them all in.
Yeah, just let them back in.
Did you not see the viewing parties? So speaking on that, when Montreal went to the Stanley Cup Finals, they're burning fucking police cars, flipping them over, fireworks in the streets.
No one's worried about.
Dude, wait till
COVID over there.
Go ahead.
No, I just think. I mean, I'm wrong here, but I think it's bad to say. I shouldn't say I'm wrong. It's bad to say, but is it not a little bit funny that they get to the Stanley Cup Finals, a Canadian team here, and they it's kind of. I mean, it's a little bit funny that it sucks for the fans, but I'm not a huge I know
Canadian
hockey fan.
It's like a middle finger to the Canadians up there.
It's I'm so happy, but this sucks at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's the plus side in a bad situation. You're just like, So even if you guys do get to enjoy it, you can't really go see it because the Hockey Hall of Fame's closed. So
right.
That's how I feel.
Whatever. I mean, from a fan's perspective, the over 99% of the fans aren't going to the games anyway, so it shouldn't matter, but it's just kind of funny.
It just makes for a more electric final if you have 2 packed stadiums,
Well,
absolutely.
So back to my original statement though, they had watch parties outside and those things were jam packed.
That's what I'm
remember Winnipeg 3 years ago, or maybe it's 2 years ago. I can't quite remember.
I mean, Toronto did the same thing too.
Yeah.
So everybody, they all do. So I mean, but that at the end of the day, it's more electric when you have a full arena, obviously. But for a fan, if you're most of the fans, if you can't go to the game, most of the fans can't go to the game just because they're priced out, especially in Montreal.
Oh, especially in Canada.
Everybody. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be the entire fan base is going to be wearing suits, and it's going to be like a business casual attire because those are the only fans that can afford it. And all the fans that would probably want to go to the game to make it electric are going to go to the watch party anyway. And there's going to be a few thousand people outside, and it's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. It sucks. Nothing you can do about it. But the watch party is probably going to be more fun than going to the game with all of the suits anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I'm really excited. I think that this is going to be a very underrated matchup. Because some people are saying Tampa's just going to roll over them. I don't think so at all.
The people that are saying that have not watched any of the Habs series then, because there's no way it's going to be a rollover. I'm calling that right now. It's not going to be a blowout in any sense.
Yeah.
Tampa in 4.
Yeah. Suns in 4.
When is the last time there's been a sweep in the Stanley Cup Finals? Anybody know? I don't know the answer. I'm just curious if you guys knew.
I want to say, I know for the Wings it was 98. They had back-to-back 97, 98, both sweeps.
So maybe that was the last time. Let's hope so. We need something.
I have no idea
to make the Red Wings sound good.
Yeah.
Hey, but
21 years ago or
right?
22 years ago or whatever.
So we got a week and a half roughly of hockey, and then we'll be talking a little bit about entry draft and expansion draft.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. A lot of good things coming up.
Oh, I got one more thing. Made in Michigan on Wednesday is having an all-star game, 3-on-3, hardest puck shot, fastest skater, I think, as well. I'll be out there. I'm going to try to do some interviews with all of the players, hopefully, depending on, I don't know the situation or what's going to be happening, but that's going to be my goal. So if you guys have any questions, look at that list that we posted on the Instagram and let us know.
Perfect.
Anything else, boys?
I think that's it.
All right. Let's get the puck out of here and watch some hockey this week.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.
Yeah.